Hi everyone, my name's Elizabeth and I'm here to give a fine hair tutorial for dreadlocks. Right now is quarantine or self-isolation for almost all of the world, and I just think that this is a really good time for us to slow things down and take time for our self-care, whether that be hair and skin care, mental health, care for our families, and to, get more into the hobbies that you've been putting aside because of work or school or anything like that. Um, so I wanted to say that when I first got dreadlocks was about 4 years ago, and I didn't have really a lot of resources to learn how to properly take care of them and how to manage them and maintain them, or how to wash them even. And so I've just sort of had to figure it out over the years, and so I hope that some of this wisdom might be helpful to you guys. Again, this is for fine hair, so if your hair is a little different than mine, it may not be totally suitable advice for you. However, maybe some of what I have to say could be really helpful. Um, so my hair is freshly washed right now. It's a little scraggly around, and it's wet, and you can tell, especially by the ends, that it's wet because it's kind of all stuck together. And that's kind of why I got inspired to make this video. I'd been thinking about it a lot, and then, well, this is a good time because I just washed it and I can explain everything. So first off, I'm going to talk about how to wash your hair when you have fine hair with dreadlocks. So thing number one, you are going to need shampoo and conditioner. The shampoo that I use is typically something that is natural, that doesn't have any sulfates, parabens, or anything synthetic in it. You don't want to have any dyes or anything like that. And the reason for this is because it will create buildup in your dreadlocks, and it'll be very, very hard to wash out. Sometimes you'll get what's called dread rot, when you put things in your hair and then you don't dry it properly, or it doesn't have enough time to dry out, and then you'll get like a buildup of mold, or like more like mildew, or just dirt, particulate, and things like that in your hair, and you don't want that. So stick with something that's natural, something that's made with shea butter, or like coconut oil, lavender oil, tea tree oil, things like that. And there are lots and lots and lots of different types that you can get. I have used shampoo bars, like the little bars of soap, basically. I like to be more eco-friendly about it, as much as I possibly can. So it's really nice because that usually comes without packaging. And if you're living on the road, if you're living in a tiny home or a van or something, I think shampoo bar is a really good choice. Just because you use it, and then it disintegrates into nothing, and you don't have to contain it in anything really. You just keep it in your shower or wherever it is that you wash your hair, or just in like a little piece of wax paper or something. I also like to go to like natural grocers or places that sell like bulk shampoo. Same thing, make sure it's natural, and then you can refill a bottle over and over and over again, so you don't have to continuously buy plastic. And right now I'm doing that. I have a shampoo that's made specifically for like dry, fine hair, and it smells like mint. It's beautiful. So I also have a conditioner that matches the shampoo. Now, when you wash your hair, you want to make sure that shampoo is only going on your scalp. So you're washing your hair with maybe a dime size amount for like the front of your scalp and a dime size for the back of your scalp, and you're going to want to like gently go in and clean your hair. You don't want to be aggressive with your hair, especially because you have dreadlocks. Your dreadlocks are going to get heavier and heavier as they are wet, and as they grow they'll get heavier, and you want to be as gentle as you can with your scalp so that you can preserve your hair follicles. If you have fine hair like me, you're going to want to shampoo your hair at the root, and you're not going to want to put too much conditioner like in the end part, because that'll make your hair look really greasy and oily. The conditioner I would mostly recommend to run through your dreadlocks. And when you're washing your hair, of course sometimes you're going to want to like shampoo through your dreadlocks too, in case you were out camping, or like you have dirt in your hair, whatever. Of course you're going to want to like shampoo that as well, but you don't need to do it as much as just on your scalp. When I do have to clean my dreadlocks though with shampoo, I will like gently squeeze the product through my hair and sort of run my fingers through it and just be very, very gentle. We're not going to like rub it or do anything aggressive, because that will cause breakage in the little flyaways that you have in your dreadlocks, and you want to maintain the strength. And then after that, when you're ready for conditioner, you're going to run your fingers through your hair, take your dreads. Sometimes individually, if I have the time, I'll go through and condition each one of them and make sure that they're each moisturized properly. And again, since I have fine hair, I don't put a whole lot of conditioner on my scalp because it does make my hair very, very oily. Once you've washed your hair, you're going to want to dry it, of course. Now, I know that some people with dreadlocks, they might have thicker dreadlocks than mine. They like to use blow dryers. Personally, I don't use blow dryers at all because I think it causes damage, especially to the little flyaways you have and the ends of your dreads. Some people have blunted ends. I don't. Mine are like, it's like nice hair at the end. I don't like to use blow dryers because I think it causes damage. But what I do use is I'll just use like a normal towel and I'll go through and just gently squeeze my hair. And especially the ends, a lot of the water will run to the end of your hair and you just have to kind of dab at it for a while to get the excess moisture. Sometimes it'll just drip for like a couple, I don't know, an hour or longer. And I also would not recommend putting it up in a turban. When you do that, you are creating more stress on your hair follicles than usual. And since you already have dreadlocks, that's a lot of weight to be pulling on your scalp. So it's much better to just kind of maybe like wrap your hair in a towel and let it just kind of drip into the towel for a while and then gently squeeze it. I also recommend not washing it before bed. Of course, this is a preference, but I think it's better to wash it during the day and give yourself some time to air out your dreads, let them sort of dry naturally. Because if you sleep with your dreadlocks wet, one thing that happens to me is my hair they'll dry in like kind of funny shapes and it looks kind of funny. And also sometimes the moisture gets kind of stuck in there while you're sleeping on it, and that is also something that encourages the growth of dread rot. And you don't want mildew or anything in your hair. It'll make your hair smell weird, like a wet sock. And yeah, and you don't want to have any of that because it could also break the hair from the inside. So yeah, so dry your hair gently, wash your hair gently. And then once you're done drying it in whatever way that you do, there's going to be more care that you do on top of that. So I use grapefruit and coconut oil, like just kind of to put on my hands. So I'll do that now because I just washed my hair. So I spray a little bit on my hand and then I just kind of run my fingers gently through my hair and coat the dreadlocks. And then I'll take one dreadlock at a time and I will like gently palm roll through just to make all the flyaways lay down to give it a little extra moisture so that it stays locked in. And if you do this on wet hair, it'll hold on. The oil will stay in your hair better than if you did it on dry, and it'll also won't be so like heavy. One thing I'd like to mention about this is there will be different oils and serums and things that work on your hair. I like this one because it's just very, very light. And you know, technically this one's a body oil, but all that's in it is grapefruit and coconut oil, so it's fine on your hair. Also, don't put citrus oil on your face because if you go out in the sun with the citrus oil on your face, you could actually burn your skin, which is not a good thing. Next, when you first get out of the shower and you're about to do the moisturizing, make sure that you run your fingers through your dreadlocks and that you can come all the way out, all the way down from your scalp to the ends. So if you are at your scalp and your fingers get caught, like it gets caught right here, that means that you need to take the time to separate out your dreadlocks, make sure that they're separate, and do a little bit of root maintenance, because if they don't separate out of the shower, then it's likely that they will start to grow together. And I know some people don't mind this so much, but the bigger your dreadlock is, the more weight that will be pulling on that one section of your hair, and you're more likely to lose the dreadlock. So you want to keep them separated. Just run your fingers through gently, because obviously you're not using a comb or anything like that to keep them. So once your hair is dry and you notice that you start to get these little flyaways, your roots are loose, like you can tell right now that since I just washed my hair, the roots that I have once tightened have broken up a little bit more again and have gotten frizzy. I would recommend only maintaining it with a crochet hook, maybe once a month, sometimes less. I had a crochet hook here, 1 second, oh here it is, okay. So I use a 0.5 or 0.7 millimeter crochet hook. I think this one's by Clover. I've had a few of these and I really like them. I lose them easily, so that's why I've had a few of them. But they don't usually break. Sometimes they'll bend a little, so you have to be really gentle with how you're doing it. You don't want to like stick it into a stiff dreadlock and then expect it to not break, because it will break. But basically how you do this is you go in, select a dreadlock of course, and you're going to give the hairs that are loose a little twist around, just about one twist around the base of your dreadlock, and then you're going to take your crochet hook at the top, you're going to go in and have it stick out the side. Grab the loose hair and pull it in. And you'll notice that as you do that, and you can turn it and you can work from the top down as you do this. And as you do that, your hair is going to lock up. And you want to do this while your roots are still a little bit wet, because when they dry, just like if you curl your hair when it's wet and then it dries, it'll stay in the position that it dried in, which is really, really helpful when you're maintaining your hair. Also, I think the elasticity is a little bit better when it's wet, so that's a really good thing to pay attention to. Because if you're doing it on dry hair, you're more likely to break your hair using the crochet hook. It's very important to note that when you use a crochet hook to tighten your dreadlocks, you will experience some breakage, especially if you have fine hair. So it's really important to do this seldom, like every once in a while. That's why I recommend like once a month. And I know that some people are very they're perfectionists about this, and they want to keep their hair like really, really nice at the top and make sure that their dreadlocks are very neat. But I will say that personally, I think that having it be a little bit messy up here is better, because every time you wash your hair, it's going to get loosened and broken up a little bit, all of the maintenance that you've done. And so if that would mean you'd have to crochet hook your hair back together about every week, and I think that's just a little bit too much. It's too damaging. And also, whenever I decide to put my hair up in a ponytail or something, I think that my hair actually lays more flat and better when there's a little bit of loose hair up here. When it's really tight, I've found that it looks more like bumpy and wiggly and stuff when I've really maintained it. I know that if you have curly hair, it definitely looks better. So take that with a grain of salt, of course. And then sometimes, especially in the beginning, you're going to want to maintain all the way down. But as you can see, I've had mine for about 4 years, and they're stiff. These are stiff dreadlocks, and I can't even stick the crochet hook through there anymore. But sometimes you can. If it starts to get stiff, it's better not to, just because you're going to break your hair that's inside that, because there's no room for the hair to move at that point. You can just palm roll it with a little bit of oil or serum. And then sometimes at the ends, because I don't have blunted tips, mine's free, you'll notice that sometimes little fuzzies and things can get stuck in the ends, and I just take the crochet hook and sort of brush out the ends of my hair. And if a fuzz from a blanket or whatever, you can just pull it right out and just smooth your hair back down. And that's just a really good way to keep it looking nice and straight. And every once in a while, I'll go in and I'll just trim the ends a little, so that they just don't have split parts, just like your normal hair would. So yeah, every once in a while I go through and trim it, and the rest of my hair just kind of stays out. So yeah, that is my advice for taking care of fine dreadlocks. If you would like to have more information, or if you'd like me to break something down in greater detail in another video, please let me know. I hope that this is helpful for some of you. If it was not helpful at all, I don't even know why you're here. But anyway, thank you for listening, and leave a comment down below if you have anything that you'd like to know more about. Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.